Now, you got a couple products. This product that he's got back in his booth right here, called the O2 Trainer, is something that can take your training to an entirely new level. You guys got to try this for yourself. Explain it to us a little bit what it is, the concept of what it can do for you, but it's something that, guys, you really have to get over there and try it for yourself. But tell us about it.
Okay, I came up with it when I was very young, when I was a kid with asthma. I would have an asthma attack for a week, and that would mean a week in bed, and then 3 more days I needed to recoup. And after that, I restarted my track and field. I wanted to become the Dutch Bruce Jenner at the time. I liked decathlon. I was good at track and field. But my running would always be better. My conditioning was always better after the attack. And I could not get it while I was, until I realized, wait a minute, if my lung pipe is infected, my lungs have to work really hard to pull the air in. And then when the infection is gone, now you trained your lungs for a week, breathing, pulling the air in the whole time. When the infection is gone, suddenly it becomes very easy to breathe. So I go, why don't I make something that controls the air intake? And we're going to call it the Ruttenizer. That was the name of it. And fast forward, I'm here in America, I told all my buddies this, and about 6 years ago, and Vanderlei Silva was on TV with a snorkel device, training. I got 6 or 7 phone calls from 6, 7 different guys telling me, Bas, that thing you're always talking about, the Ruttenizer, start making it, because somebody's going to come up with it. It's a very good idea. So the only thing it does is controls the air intake. It doesn't claim high altitude. It's not. Nobody can claim that. I always say you have to be 8 hours or 10 hours limping in high altitude. Like the Olympic, the guys, they have a high altitude home, but they train at sea level. So they have a high altitude home at sea level. They train outside because in the high altitude it's proven now that your mind just works worse. It gets affected. Your training is not as intense and as good as it is with normal oxygen. So you train at sea level, then you go into your high altitude home, and that's where you live and sleep, and you do everything, and then you get the red blood cells. So it's very important that you train with normal oxygen. But then people are going to say, well, what about you, Bas, the trainer? It controls the air intake. I say, yeah, but that's the beauty. You won't get the oxygen. High altitude, I don't know if you've ever been high altitude, you realize there is no oxygen in the air. You can breathe whenever you want, there's no oxygen in it. So you can breathe as hard as you want, but you will not get that air in. But your O2 trainer, it's different. The harder you breathe, the more air you get. And once you start decreasing the sizes, so you have to pull harder to get air in, it gets bigger. This thing, for asthma patients, if you're an asthma patient like I am, I do not use my inhaler now. I use it maybe once every 4 days. Before I started with the O2 trainer, 6 times a day. And every person on my internet I give you a money back guarantee. It doesn't work, bring it back, I give you a money back. I guarantee you 100% it works. It doesn't get your red blood cells, although they're checking it now, but it makes your lungs bigger, which is proven, and you can read all those things on o2trainer.com. And it makes your diaphragm and your lung muscles stronger, so your stamina goes up. I was always just be able to hold my breath for 1.5 minutes, and literally I tried for fun. I was laying at the pool at home in the summer. I trained 3 weeks with it, 2 minutes. I was holding my breath. So it really works. Check it out if you like it. If you want to increase stamina, it really, really works. If you have asthma, I say get it 100%. Let them know you have asthma, because if it doesn't work, I give you your money back.
Before we get into this next product here, I was going to ask you, do you ever think about going back to your career with all these tools and O2 trainers and all that kind of stuff? You wish you could go back?
Oh, they always say you're only as good as your sparring partners, right?
Yeah.
I did my 85% of my career, I had one guy. First year and a half in Japan, I had a bag. I trained 2 times a day on a bag. And then after I lost the last time against Kees Schomburg with a knee bar submission, I got so angry. I said, okay, now I need to find somebody to roll with. I found a 19-year-old boy, a guy, and I said, that sounded great. A 19-year-old guy who also didn't know anything, and we just started watching tapes and breaking things down. See if we could make it better. We start at my whole house. Asked my wife, was full of post-its. I wrote techniques everywhere. 24/7 I was busy with it, non-stop, 2-3 times a day, just submissions. And then I flipped it around. The next 7 fights I won by submission. And then they went home. And even better, 5 years later, BJ Penn called me. It was the first time. I didn't know BJ at the time. I go, BJ, yeah, I'm gonna get a warm. I'm starting for a run. He was fighting Matt Hughes at the time, so that's far. It's a long time ago. And he says, I just watched your instructional DVDs. I said, wow. So he says, best DVDs I've ever seen. He says, who was your ground coach? I said, I taught myself. He says, you taught yourself that? I say, yeah, I taught myself. So I just want to tell out that I always say to my students also, if I can do it, you can do it. It's just putting the hours in. And what I always say with techniques is try to understand it. A lot of people don't understand it. They know how an armbar looks, but they don't understand it. That's why you see guys with a simple figure four still not bring the hand down. They get paid $100,000, $200,000. You see sometimes in the main event, they do an armbar and the elbow comes up. That should not be possible. The only thing he needs to do is push it down. Now he's got it. And that's a guy that you're like, wow. You know, because that's stress, you know, while you're fighting. You might forget those kind of things. But those things are the most important. Once you understand how it works, you also understand automatically how to get out of it. It's the same with takedowns. I always sucked at takedown defense, but then I realized when I came to the States, I finally had people to wrestle with. If you learn the takedowns, then you automatically know how to defend the takedown. That's the trick. A lot of guys say, now I don't need the takedown, I just learn the defense. No, learn the takedown. And it's with the armbar also. Learn the armbar, understand the armbar, how it works, how can you not get out. Once you understand it, you automatically know how to get out of it. This thing is 2.5 years in the making, years in the making. You can't break it. If you use it the right way. You can kick the head, you can hit it as hard as you want. The body is for knees only. You can kick it if you like. I would suggest not to do it. Sometimes people get tired and the timing is going to be off and they're going to hit the stand. So I say, if you want to kick, use those things. It's better for kicking. If you want to kick the head, go ahead, kick the head. No, it's very, very tough. I broke 20 of those things. I mean, every time. You have no clue what work goes in this. Have absolutely no clue. To match the spring, the hardness of the spring with the foam in the head, if the foam is too hard, you need a more denser, looser foam. Looser foam means it's lighter. Once it's lighter, that same spring doesn't work anymore. Now you got to get a different spring. So every time I got 6 new heads, 6 new bodies that I got to beat all day long, you know, and finally we came up with this one. It's pretty much indestructible. And it's also, you break the head, people say to me, oh, I broke the head. I said, it's the first time I hit it. For real, I do. In the beginning, we had a bad batch, threw it out. No complaints anymore, but if it does break, just call. They'll send you a new head. It's very simple. Good thing about this is uppercuts, hooks, elbows, targets. I don't know if people are here who know the Bas Rutten workout. If you ever did that, the audio workout, right? It's a freaking Joe Peretti. My God, he's the first matchmaker from the UFC, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, John, how are you? Wow, long time. That's cool. Gotta hook up. Where was I? Oh, with backs, a normal back, what I always say, it's straight and a heavy back. I have tendonitis. I hurt my arms really bad. If I hit a back really, really hard, I have the tendonitis. If this happens 4 weeks before the fight, that means 2 times a day, I'm in excruciating pain. Very, very painful. People who have that, there's no pain like it. It's very hard. The back, if you hit it in the wrong angle, you know, it all goes wrong. It's heavy. Don't do it. No uppercuts on the back. This thing, well, you can do anything you want on it. I actually have here somewhere Marcus, who's also in our infomercial. He took his shirt off in the infomercial. Yeah. And well, he can hit a little bit and bounce a little bit around. I don't know how much the back, how heavy the weight is, but just go to town. Let him know. Just throw some combinations. For instance, I do. Let's do the workout. You know, the workout. I'm going to do it unplugged, so to say. All right. He knows the workout. 3 in the liver shot. 2 in the right straight. 4. Right uppercut, left hook. Right uppercut, left hook, right straight. 3.
I got the takes.
3 in the liver shots. Cool, right? 4. 100 right straights. But you see, it's cool. You can hit it as hard as you want. You don't get injured. This is a perfect thing for a fighter 2 weeks before the fight. Don't hit the heavy back anymore. beat this thing as hard as you can. No impact, no injuries, no nothing. Can hit a bare knuckle if you like. Nothing happens. You can see, you can kick it. It needs to move, guys. Don't bolt it into the ground because it's not designed for that. You know, it's like a bridge. You know, it needs to move, otherwise it's going to break. Like a big building, same thing. It's the same thing here. So put the bags on there, but don't fill them all with lat shot. Because if it doesn't move, you're going to get friction and it's going to break. After a workout, most of the time, that whole machine is probably like 1 foot further. But that's a good sign. That means you hit it hard, you know, and it works perfect. Plus, no injuries. Targets also. How many fighters, every interview, if I talk about fighting, if I say, what's the most important thing in fighting? Aim. Aim for your punches. People, a lot of guys just hit the head or just hit the body. We all know hitting here, well, you can kick me here as hard as you can. Here, not so much. And it's the same with the liver and the spleen. Same thing. And we get the targets right here. And the targets are shaped in the direction that you have to hit the liver shot. A lot of guys hit the liver shot with a hook to the body. I don't believe in that. I believe in stabbing it in there. Because if I just hook to the body and they do this, I miss. You know, but if I stab it in there, then you push your body weight in there, you go through those muscles, through the rib cage, and there, behind there, is the liver or the spleen located. Thank you very much. Oh, he's tired. Now, it's a really good workout. It goes with an audio workout. An audio workout that I have, you know, you put a CD in, and you hear a voice, and that's what I just did. 4. What I've got left hook right straight. You have a boxing workout, Thai boxing, and a mixed martial arts. It's with sprawls and all crazy exercises. Get you really, really tired. Ask any pro who ever trained with it if it's good or not. Rashad Evans also actually trains with it. I did my pitch.
Now, I've asked you a lot of questions. I've known you for a long time, so maybe there's something I'm not thinking of. You guys want to ask him something. Anybody got a question for Bas that they want to ask him? I'm sure somebody out there wants to know something about Bas.
Stop. Mr. Joe Brady. Where do I go?
Bas, I happen to know that the reason you have tendonitis in your arms is because you're one of the only human beings on the planet that can do one-arm push-ups, pull-ups on a subway car in Tokyo while the subway car is moving. One-arm people pulling up all the way to the top and all the way let down. And that's exactly how that bicep tendon got hurt. Is it not?
I bet you those guys can't do it.
No.
They're freaking strong, dude.
Anyway, for anyone who's ever had tendon strains in their life, this is the absolute greatest fighter that I have ever seen and trained with in my whole life.
Oh, John.
And I've seen them all.
Anybody else have a question for Bas? Want to pass the mic around? No?
John, good to see you, buddy.